The Russian ruble now has a smaller market cap than Bitcoin. Today, we're going to be discussing how cryptocurrencies flipped the Russian ruble on its head. Alright, so a little recap. Russia began its invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February and has been attacking them to this day. The Russian military entered Ukraine from several directions, with troops headed towards its capital, Kyiv, and attacked with airstrikes and shelling. Ukrainian authorities said dozens of troops on both sides and some Ukrainian civilians were killed amid the fighting. US President Joe Biden and other Western leaders have criticized Russian President Vladimir Putin, calling his country's actions a violation of international law. However, Putin claims that the invasion of Ukraine was provoked by NATO and its allies as a defensive measure. This is because Putin has said NATO enlisting nations on Russia's border represents a provocation, though NATO insists it's a defensive alliance and not a threat to Russia. Putin has also gone on to say that Ukraine is committing genocide against ethnic Russians specifically, particularly in the Donbas region, where Kremlin-backed rebels have been fighting with Ukrainian forces since 2014. He also claims that Ukraine is not a valid state, saying Ukraine has never had its own authentic statehood. There has never been a sustainable statehood in Ukraine. He argued Ukraine was created by the Soviet Union under its first leader Vladimir Lenin, despite overwhelming evidence of Ukrainian culture and history that predates the Soviet Union. Putin also insisted that Ukraine is part of Russia. Quote, "Let me emphasize once again that Ukraine for us is not just a neighboring country. It is an integral part of our own history, cultural, and spiritual space." Putin has even incorrectly stated that Russia gave Ukraine the right to break away, when in fact the Ukrainian people voted overwhelmingly for independence in a 1991 referendum, the Washington Post reported. For the referendum vote, 84% of eligible voters went to the polls, and more than 90% voted in favor of independence. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Ukraine voluntarily gave up the nuclear weapons in its territory in exchange for a guarantee of security by the US, the UK, and Russia. Putin has expressed concern that Ukraine has the knowledge and desire to obtain nuclear weapons, thus posing a threat to Moscow. So while there is no evidence that Ukraine is trying to acquire nuclear weapons, the New York Times reported that Putin has spewed conspiracy theories to talk up the threat and use it to justify an invasion. So, with all of these accusations brewing and a war in our midst, the West has brought forth dozens of new sanctions against Russia. Of course, Russia is already a global power and can function practically independently of the rest of the world. So the sanctions really hurt the Russian people more than anything, with tons of foreign banks disabling Russian accounts and tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs leaving the country as a result. And this fall of the ruble comes after Western nations imposed an unprecedented, crippling array of economic sanctions on Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. According to the latest data from Russia's central bank, the country's M2 money supply for January was around 65.3 trillion rubles, which at the ruble's current market price of 1 cent is worth around 650 billion USD, roughly 120 billion less than Bitcoin's total market capitalization. Russian citizens and foreign institutional investors began divesting from their cash and other ruble-dominated holdings immediately after the attack on Ukraine. However, the West's move to cut the country from SWIFT frees the Bank of Russia's reserve assets held overseas, which amount to over 50%, and the US Treasury's decision to escalate the sanctions has worsened the situation for the Russian economy and its currency. The ruble's sharp devaluation is likely to lead to a significant drop in the standard of living for the average Russian. The country is still reliant on many imported goods, meaning the prices of those items will surge in ruble-denominated terms. The Russian government will likely have to intervene by providing liquidity to mitigate broader industry failure and market breakdown. However, with no access to the international financial system and half its dollar and euro-denominated reserves, it may have to resort to printing more rubles, a risky move that could trigger hyperinflation. The idea around the economic sanctions is that the people of Russia will be more inclined to revolt against their authoritarian leader. But despite dozens of unapproved protests in Russia, the revolt has yet to be seen. Many believe that the Russian people will not revolt, citing statistics that about 58% of Russians approve of the invasion of Ukraine, while 23% oppose it, according to a poll conducted across Russia. However, you should, of course, take this with a grain of salt, due to the fact that the Russian government has been shutting down independent news outlets in its own country since the invasions began, suggesting that these very statistics could also be falsehoods to make the West believe that their country isn't in opposition to the invasion. To prevent an even bigger equity and currency sell-off, Russia's central bank didn't open the Moscow exchange for trading and increased the key rate from 9.5% to 20% Monday. The key rate is the interest rate at which banks can borrow money. It indirectly influences the cost of credit for borrowers and the circulating money supply of the ruble. And in seeking refuge from the collapsing ruble, Russian citizens have begun turning to crypto. According to data by blockchain analytics company Kaiko, ruble-denominated Bitcoin trades reached 9-month highs Thursday. In addition to the spike in trading volumes, Bitcoin is currently trading at a slight premium in Russia compared to the global average. On the peer-to-peer marketplace, localbitcoins.com, Russian traders are currently selling Bitcoin for 4,075,000 rubles, or about 42,869 USD, around 2,000 USD more than the current global average of 40,900. But that wraps up the story of how crypto flipped the Russian ruble. Crypto.com, a payment and cryptocurrency platform that empowers users to buy, sell, and pay with crypto, has added Shiba Inu token to its DeFi wallet along with 6 other cryptocurrencies. DeFi Wallet is a non-custodial wallet that gives users access to a full suite of DeFi services in one place. On May 9th, 2021, Crypto.com declared the listing of the Shiba Inu token to its app, which has enabled users to purchase SHIB with US dollars, euros, Great British pounds, and 20 plus other fiat currencies, along with spending it at over 60 million merchants globally using the Crypto.com Visa card. Payments giant American Express could be readying a metaverse entry. The company filed trademark applications for its logos and items including the Centurion Black Card and Shop Small program. MX is also seeking to engage in virtual payments and electronic business transactions for digital media and non-fungible tokens. MX's applications come as traditional finance and large corporations increasingly aim to boost their metaverse exposure. JP Morgan recently opened a lounge in Decentraland and released a paper exploring how businesses can find opportunities in the growing metaverse. The government of Kazakhstan has sanctioned 106 crypto mining farms for engaging in illicit crypto mining activities. Some ex-officials of Kazakhstan's wealthiest businesses were found to be involved, according to the administration. According to the government's announcement, 67,000 pieces of equipment valued at around 100 billion tenges, approximately 193 million USD, were also seized. How do you guys think this global situation could affect the crypto world? Could it be a glimmer of hope for Russian citizens? Or will it backlash on the crypto market? Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and we'll catch you in the next one.